Hello, everybody. How are you? Happy Thursday. Hope you're doing well. I really wanted to be with you live today, and I started my journey. Isn't it funny how sometimes things come full circle? I was on my way home, and I noticed that the cars weren't moving when I came to a certain area. And I learned that you could hear the sirens. I learned that there was an accident ahead of me. Detour, honey, detour. And so this detour has allowed me to be more delayed than I anticipated. And so I am en route to go home. And it's kind of like what we were talking about yesterday in our devotion, that sometimes detour happens in our lives unexpectedly. They're not planned. I didn't plan to be out here at this particular time of the evening. I thought I would have been home, settled, get some things done, and then come to have devotion. But life happens. And unfortunately, somebody was in an accident, and I hope that they're okay. And I don't know what beautiful destination God has in store for me today, other than I'm going to see my children and see my husband and my family. I don't know what's planned. I don't know, but you just have to ride out the delays and the detours and the setbacks in our lives. We just have to ride them out and trust that God has our best interest at heart, and God knows what He is doing. And that is simply what I try to rely on, is the fact that I have given my life to the Lord. I have not taken my life out of His hands. I've committed my life in His hands. And every day I pray and I literally say, sometimes in my mind, sometimes out loud, God, I'm going to live for You the best way that I can today. I'm going to be a Christian. And I believe saying that and believe in that wholeheartedly, that God has gone ahead of me and He has made the path clear for me to journey. And I hold that so dear in my heart that even when unfavorable situations happen in my life, I choose to believe, hear me, I choose to believe that God has His hands in it some way, somehow. And even though I cannot fully see all the details, that God knows what is ultimately best for me. And I hope and I pray that if you don't already see it like that, that your eyes will be opened, your understanding will be widened to say, you know what, God, You have my best interest at heart, and You have gone ahead of me. I have committed my life into Your hands. And so, God, even when situations are happening in my life that I don't fully comprehend, I don't necessarily want to be happening right now, it throws me off course, sometimes makes me flustered, may get a little bit concerned. Lord, You know what is best for me. You know what this delay, what this detour prevented. You know what it's going to lead to. You know, God. And rather than get frustrated and panicking and worrying, I just said, you know what, God, You know. And what would You have me to do right here, right now? Well, pop open your phone, record a video, and shoot it out, and encourage somebody else to stand, and to trust, and to hope, to believe in all the circumstances that they're going through. and to hold on to God's unchanging hands. And as I talked about Paul last night in our devotion, and God literally changing the course of his destiny, and we read his story now. We read his story now. We read the revelations that he received as a result of a God-ordained detour. We refer to his epistles. We refer to his writings because God orchestrated his detour. He didn't see that one coming at all. He had to go back and preach to the people that he persecuted. He had to suffer, no doubt about it. But yet, when it was all said and done, he was able to testify that he was willing to glory in his infirmities. Oh God, so powerful. He was willing to glory in his infirmity. I pray somehow that with all the getting that we get, the Bible says, let us get understanding. I look at Job. Detour. He had no idea he was gonna lose everything. His children, his life stock. He had no clue as to the loss that he was going to experience. Detour, sickness. And yet he was able to say, though he slay me. He didn't refer to the devil. He was talking about God. Though he slay me, yet will I trust him. And that's also relationship. That sometimes we will lose things along the way, and we'll go through grief and hurt and pain. But if once we recognize that God has ordained this, naked I came in and naked I'm willing to go. The Lord giveth, the Lord take it away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Detours. It's all about what we were talking about last week in our devotion. It's all about our perspective. It's how about how we look at it. Are we looking at it earthly, or we're looking at it from the invisible realm? Naomi had a detour in her life. She wanted to go back home alone after suffering the loss of her husband and the loss of her sons. She said, call me Mara. She just wanted to just be bitter and alone. And she thought, I'm done with daughter-in-laws. I'm done with this. I can't produce any more children. I'm just going to go back home and just prepare to die. But there's a detour. One daughter-in-law by the name of Ruth would not leave her, was willing to accompany her back to the house of bread. Ruth basically said, listen, we're tied at the hip, honey. We're tied at the hip. And as a result, look at the beautiful outcome, the beautiful outcome that God produced as a result. And she was able to live the rest of her days, not bitter, but a happy woman. And God was able to replenish some of the things that she lost. Why and how? Through a determined Ruth, who was also widowed, lost her husband as well. It's all about perspective. It's all about perspective. When we just submit to the detours and the delays that God has set before us, and not to see them as him not liking us and God not wanting good for us, it's because he does want those things. That's why they're placed in our way. And so I trust today that whatever you're going through, whatever it is that you're facing right now, and I know it's tough. I know it's tough. You don't have to tell me that it's tough. I know it is tough. I know it's tough. I know that you're going through. I know you're facing some unsurmountable situations right now. I know it's tough. But not because it's tough means that it's impossible. Because with God, all things are possible. And God has a way, and he does it all the time. He has a way of turning our mourning into dancing. He has a way of turning our sorrows into joy. One thing I can tell you is that trouble, they don't last always. One thing I know, God knows how to turn a frown into a smile. I know he can. I've seen him do it. I've seen him do it. And he's able to do it for you. And he's doing great things. Look around you. He's doing great things. We just came out of winter. And spring has sprung. And you can see and feel and hear the sounds of spring. You hear the birds chirping louder. You see the tree getting back their life. The wind is less chilly. You can feel some warmth in the air. So winter doesn't last always. Spring is coming. And then God will give you double for your trouble, because right after spring comes summer. And so it happens. So it is naturally, so it is spiritually, emotionally. God is going to turn it around for you. Have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful evening. Have yourself a fantastic weekend. God bless you. Praying for you. Looking forward to everything that the Lord is going to do for you. In Jesus' name. Bye, everybody.